Good morning, Girl Scouts. Welcome back to Morning Tea with Rafiki. And we are so excited to have you here today. We will be learning about the double fisherman's knot, which is really cool. This is another cool climbing knot, also one that you can use to join two strings together, and it can hold a lot of weight once it's tied. So I hope all of you have your morning tea. Again, I have peppermint, seems to be my preferred choice. So always good to start off the morning with a cup of tea or coffee, whatever you prefer. So what we will need for today is our two strings. I will be using two different colors to help show the knot tying process. And if you have two different colors, that will be good too, but it doesn't matter. Sometimes that just helps me visually to keep track of the paracord or string that I'm working with. However, when I talk about the double fisherman's knot, I kind of already talked about the uses. The double fisherman's knot is different from the fisherman's knot. The fisherman knot has one overhand loop, and I will show you what that looks like in just a second. And that's more so used when tying thin, slippery lines like a fishing line. And the double fisherman's knot that we're learning today is more for climbing or hanging something of a heavy load. So now that you have your two strings, we are going to head down into the makerspace. And today I brought the nice plants with me. Sometimes I like to name my plants, but this one does not have a name yet. So if you have any suggestions, please let me know. Great. So now that we have our two strings, we're going to start off this knot by overlapping the strings a bit. So you can see how I have one heading to the right and then one heading to the left. And we want to overlap them so we have enough string to work with, paracord, rope to work with. And I'm going to show you two ways. One, we're going to use our thumb as a guide. And the other way, I'm just going to show you how without using the thumb. So I'm going to do that way first so you can see kind of how the strings move. And I'm going to start with the brown cord, just laying flat here. And I'm going to take this blue cord, cross it over. We see it crosses over here. And you want to make sure you have enough string or paracord that you're working with to come out here. And then you're going to wrap this blue cord underneath the brown cord, like so. And then you're going to cross it over to make this X. So you can see the X here. We have it made with the blue one. And then we're going to wrap the end one more time underneath. So now you see we have two loops back here that's going underneath, and we still have our X. And you're going to take the end of the string and put it through the X like this. And you're going to pull it tight. And so when you pull it tight, it should end up looking like this. You have an X here, and then you have one cord running on the end and the other cord running at the top. I'm going to undo it to show it one more time. Do our chord. We're going to restart, pressing the restart button here. Sometimes it can take one or two tries to be able to be fluid with tying this knot. So I'm actually going to put the screen down a little bit further so you can see. T over. Perfect. Okay, so one more time. Take the brown cord. You're going to loop or put the blue cord over the brown cord. And then you're going to loop that behind the brown cord. And then you're going to, I'm going to need a little more string here on this side, a little more extra to play around with. And then we're going to cross it over to make that X. See that X right there? Okay. And then just the final touch, we loop it back around again. So now we have that double loop. We still have our X here, but now you can see we have two loops in the back. And then right in the middle of that X, we are going to pull this string through, or the paracord through, and then tighten it up. So it should look like this. So this is the first part of our knot, our double fisherman's knot. As you can see, it's called double because we have the 2 strands up here. Double fisherman's knot. We loop it twice. Cool. So now to complete it, we need to, I'm going to pull out the brown string a little bit more from this knot. You can see this fisherman knot allows this to move along the string. And so now we're going to reverse it. We're going to use our brown string. We're going to tie the same exact knot that we did over here using our brown string. So you're going to cross over top the blue string here. I'm crossing over top. Then we loop it around the back. And then make that X. So now you can see we have the X in the front here. It's looped behind the blue string. I'm going to move this down just a bit so that I have a little more cord to work with. And then we're going to loop it back around again, like so. And so now you see that I still have my X here, the X right there, and the double string in the back. And then I'm going to take this, push it through the X underneath all those loops, and then tie it like so. So looks like exactly like this one over here. Cool. And now that we have our 2 knots together, we are going to pull them tight like this. So now they're touching each other. You can hang something really heavy on this knot, and once it's tied, it's really hard to undo. So if you hang any string together, tying 2 strings and then hang something heavy, maybe that's a bear bag or whatnot, but you can use this knot. So I'm going to do this one more time. We're going to tied it a little tight, so we're going to work to get these knots undone. But this is it's kind of cool that this knot is used in climbing. And we learned a while back the double 8, the figure 8 knot, which is nice because that knot you can tie into your harness. And now you're learning how to connect 2 ropes together. So 2 cool climbing knots. All right, so I'm going to teach you another way to tie it. You can grasp we're starting here. Grasp your brown string in your hand so that one end is coming down. And then put your thumb out here. Now you're going to take your blue knot, your blue string, and you're going to cross it over your thumb like so. You want to make sure that you have a lot of string to work with. So we're going to make sure that this is nice and long. So this crosses over the thumb. And this is when we did it without using your thumb. This is just simulating that we're crossing it over. And then we're going to bring this around both our thumb and around the back of the brown string here. And then we're going to make that X again. So now you can really visibly see that X across the thumb. And that's where we're going to wrap it round again. And then right at this point here, this is where we're going to slip the end of this rope through and then pull it tight. So because it's a double fisherman's knot, we're going to wrap it around again a second time. And you see we still have this X here, which is really nice. And then you're going to take this string and you're going to poke it through the X underneath both of the strings going over. And then we're going to slip our thumb out and tie it tightly. And it should look like this, the knot that we just tied before. So that's a different way that you can tie it using your thumb. So we're going to go back over here and we're going to do it again with this the opposite side. So now you want to take your other string, your blue string, and we're going to do the same. We're going to have our thumb, the blue string comes out. You're going to take the brown string, wrap it across your thumb. Go underneath your thumb and the blue string. Cross it over to make an X. You can see the X here. And then go back under a second time, like we did before. So now we have the 2 loops. And then take your end of this string or paracord rope and pull it right through the X. And as you're pulling, slip your thumb out and then tie it tight like this. And then you can tie both strings. And whoo, there we go. Look at that. Now you know how to do another knot. The double fisherman's knot. Super handy to know. And if you want to learn more about knots, we're continuing our knot series for next Wednesday. And check out the other ones that we've done. We've already looked at the reef knot and the double figure 8 knot. Next week, we will be learning a bowline knot, and that's also used for climbing. So we're kind of on a climbing knot streak here. So that's pretty cool. Please enjoy the rest of your morning. Take deep breaths, drink some tea, practice your knots, and we'll see you next week. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye, everyone.